All right, I'm back. My name is Anthony Livernoy, and this is my virtual debate response to Earl Shine's debate regarding his position that he believes the U.S. should not fund the WHO. Okay, so first off, I just have to say I actually agree with Earl Shine. I just wanted to pick a debate that I agreed with to force myself to look into the opposing side. So please don't take it personal. I wanted to go along with something that would make me think a little more. Earl directly addresses national security right off the bat. He states specifically that China withheld info that could have helped stop the spread of this virus if it was released a little sooner. Now, the counter argument to that is that the practice of medicine is just that, it's a practice. Information changes, it evolves as doctors learn about viruses or infections, or even you talk about physical ailments. New procedures, new processes, new information is developed and found, and therefore we adjust and we move on accordingly. Now, he moved on next to the unsureness of whether masks were effective or not. Well, I just kind of want to follow back to my previous statement. As information evolved out of the whole pandemic, while at first, yes, it was recommended not to wear masks from previous experiences with masks and how it actually may have, helped increase transmission due to touching and stuff. Overall, it was determined that wearing masks does actually help spread the virus from people that are infected. Now he went on to moved on to like whose relationship with our opponents. Specifically, I believe he's addressing China, who is a direct opposition to the United States and moving towards a world or a world superpower. So now, whose mission statement? I'm going to read this verbatim here. Is the bulletin seeks to publish and disseminate scientific, rigorous public health information of international significance that enables policymakers, researchers, and practitioners to be more effective. It aims to improve health, particularly among disadvantaged populations. So the WHO is not designed, whether it actually did or did not because of poor leadership, but it's not designed to favor one country over another. Its sole goal is to be able to help impoverished countries be able to deal with medical issues. They were not founded in the belief that they should only support one hegemony over another. All right, now Earl states that the WHO is not held responsible for this misinformation. Now, again, it's the practice of medicine, so information does change and it evolves. Additionally, the WHO has demonstrated that because of this, it has the ability to change its information that it puts out, change its position as this information evolves. And lastly, even when the WHO did state that there's no evidence at this time of human-to-human transmission, they did hedge their bets and say, well, we can't rule it out completely. So it's very important that they recognize that information does change and evolve. All right, the WHO is not holding other nations responsible for that information that was withheld. Now, it's arguable, probably really hard to argue against the fact that China, or I shouldn't say fact, I guess it's opinion, against the large opinion that China did withhold information and is currently still withholding information. It's not the WHO's responsibility, nor is it even within their authority to hold a sovereign nation responsible. Short of them removing a nation from their organization, which is another argument altogether if they have even the authority to do that for a member nation that is funding them. All right, Earl then moves on to another major topic is that the U.S. should not rely on multilateral institutions such as the WHO. He does not believe it's in the best interest of our nation. This is one I probably agree with the most on him, but however, I'm going to try to deconstruct this and present opposing views. He states that it's not a healthy way to ensure things get done for our country. The National Center for Biotechnical Information, or the NCBI, specifically states that the WHO specifically mobilizes international specialists to address epidemics and pandemics. Now, what this means is with being a multilateral institution, they have the ability to reach into well-developed countries with really strong medical infrastructures and pull out these specialists to address serious issues as they develop around the world. The ability to do this does actually help prevent other countries from, remaining possibly in dissolution or in a low economic state. For other reasons, I know that happens, but when it comes to poor health, poor medical issues, or pandemics or epidemic outbreaks, being able to rely on all these other nations to pull these specialists out does enable the WHO to help advance American causes and other countries' causes by uplifting the nation and spreading the ability to conduct trade with these other nations. He also says that other members are not held accountable for not holding up their end. I'm assuming that this means that providing the appropriate information, the appropriate funding, the appropriate levels of support in as far as manpower. Well, the NCBI continues to go on that the HU is undermined by a large amount of funding that actually goes into private organizations. This funding that goes into private organizations, which could possibly go to the WHO instead if we all focused on that, really limits what they have the ability to do. It also limits the ability of, in domestic matters, as far as the U.S., when we have a plethora of U.S. citizens that donate to private organizations, it's really hard politically to garner support to increase federal funding to the WHO. Next, he moves on to speak of Bolton and how he speaks out against relying on multilateral institutions. The Open Government Partnership, it's a partnership that works towards building these multilateral institutions and countries working together. They specifically work towards open governments and international relations building to advance society. So what that means is they work to keeping their governments open to the people so they can see what their governments are doing and building these international relationships between different countries to help further interest. Now, Earl then goes on to say that this direct strengthen the relationship with other countries with funding now used for multilateral institutions. So I think what he's saying here is that we could better use our money to directly strengthen our relationships with other countries instead of funneling our money through multilateral institutions that then make it to them. The counter argument there would be that this causes a potential to create a huge rift between two superpowers throughout the world. As the U.S. funds its countries that it supports and China and or Russia funds their countries they support, they are more apt at following their prospective parent countries in supporting initiatives around the world and therefore dictating world foreign policy. Now, by using these international or multilateral international institutions, we can remove or at least provide a buffer for the direct direct influence that these superpowers have on pushing policy, creating a more neutral policy that would potentially benefit all nations and humanity in the long run. All right. Lastly, he discusses how the fact that WHO is trusted source is a trusted source, that the people that may have a dissenting opinion, medical professionals that may have a dissenting opinion, make it hard, or the WHO is not fact checked. So to address the fact check part first, I'd like to discuss, well, the WHO is fact checked continuously, especially in America where we have an open worldview on journalism. Our American, what's the word I'm looking for? Our culture, there we go, thank you. The culture of journalism is so open. Now, you may think that it's very controlled by one political party or another, MSNBC versus Fox. However, we do have these dissenting opinions. These dissenting opinions do continually question international organizations. Specifically, when I believe it is Fox News question a lot or makes fun of a lot of the WHO stuff about mass versus no mass. This does get out and it does create the WHO to at least relook their positions and look at other data and possibly change their minds, their positions on such stances, such as the mask. And again, it's a practice of medicine. As information evolves or develops and evolves, then obviously we change our methods. Now he also states, Earl also states it creates inability for the dissent in the medical opinions. Now, the WHO actually, I believe, in one aspect, does support a healthy growth in medical information and medical opinions. Now, I do acknowledge that there are definitely going to be people that, in any profession, but we're talking medical profession here, that want to defend their positions because of, pride, potential to make money, narcissism, whatever. You have it there. They protect their position. But when the WHO has this collaboration of medical professionals around the world and they come to a consensus on a point, when a dissenting opinion does come up, while it does make it harder for that dissenting opinion to prevail through the shield that WHO provides around their opinions and their medical professionals, it ensures that dissenting opinion will have to actually be solidly based and founded in medical science and good science, because if it's just some crackpot idea that coronavirus is caused by 5G, which is pretty funny. It's easy to dismiss what is completely false and completely unfounded, and that way we can truly focus on the truly honest dissenting opinions that are based in medical fact. Well, thank you again for listening to my dissenting view. Earl, thanks for your debate there. Again, I really truly do take your position on the side. I just wanted to try to go ahead and argue against something I believe in. Thank you all and have a great day.